Hello everyone. Thanks for everyone to joining us today here in Infame Radio in the Vitamin, and everyone who is listening to us right now. We are live. My name is Timon Laska, doing a very quick and short interview with another one. A super special guest who is playing here today, which is Maria Margolina. Hi, Maria.
Hello.
We are super glad to have you here.
Same. Thanks for having me. Thanks
Okay,
for having us.
so Maria is gonna be hosting a very cool program for the next about around 30 minutes. But just very briefly, Maria, how did you find a way to your involvement with Radio 80K, who like you are today? I would say representing here.
Um, I think my way to the radio was like 6 years ago, something like that, or even 7. So it was already running for a few years. And I think they had their first location because before that they were doing it kind of just online and then never had like a permanent studio or something like that.
Mhm.
I was doing a studio session and from then on, like I just started to talk with the people like running it and they offered me to join. So since
Okay.
then I'm there, yeah.
Nice. How does your curatorial work with Radio 80K and also 25AV, which you are part of, the influence your own artistic approaches, if so, and or the other way around?
I think the way how we organize our radio is quite, as far as I know from other radios, quite exceptional. That each one who wants to participate can kind of also like dip in every section they want to engage. And I think mine at the beginning was a lot connected to the questions of diversification of like program and also like reaching out to certain groups. But now since I kind of moved away from Munich for a few years and it was more like an external role and like I was involved a little bit in the programming, scheduling shows and like doing some shifts, like just like daily stuff. But now it's really the program of 25AV, which maybe like due to my background in fine arts was quite logical to maybe that Jacob and I will kind of like take a lead on that.
Still, even that you took a step back from the Munich's music scene, I want to ask you if you have seen some changes that maybe this or if there was some democratization or more approachful the tricks that happened, like thanks to Radio 80K, since it's very much community focused and like maybe a bit decentralized the scene. Was it like that?
Yeah, definitely. I think through the radio, I mean, people in Munich barely knew from each other, like who's doing what, like how many people are actually existing in the city who are like into music, playing music, DJing, but also producing. And I think it really brought a wide field of different subcultures also together. And you really feel it, that it's a way better connected city also, I would say.
Yeah, because I feel like the people, especially who are based outside Germany or not German natives, think that only relevant place to be musically would be Berlin because of this, of course, exceptional club scene. And so I want to ask, like, which position does this place now Munich in? Do people see it as some kind of, I would say, musical periphery, or is it actually a somehow strong standalone scene?
I just would like avoid comparing those two cities. And
Yeah,
I
of
think
course, don't want to do it. Just like maybe
yeah.
see, want to see how people like from external might just position.
And that's what I
Munich.
mean. Like it really is a matter of like what you're looking for. Because I think because I also lived in Berlin for 2 years, I can kind of now compare a little bit more from the inside perspective. If you really like look out for, a feeling of there's like a sense and like a necessity to contribute to a culture, which is also I think kind of like, and also take on responsibility and like really like try to, find ways of like, making things better, like that your role in the city really matters. So like, let's put it this way. If you kind of want to do that, then I mean, a city like Berlin is, I would say, kind of oversaturated in, and that's also fine. I think you can find like in everything for inspiration stuff and everything, but it kind of like, it's a question of your character and type, I would say, yeah. So, what was your question again?
How can people, how can people, I would say, think about the Munich scene, like not compared to Berlin, but if it's like taken as a like strong standalone scene on, I would say, Germans musical
It's
scenes.
hard. I mean, some stereotypes about Munich or some like claims are true. I think it's hard to find the certain that if you're not lucky and you already know someone, it's hard to find access to it because it's still kind of hidden. It's not really so much open and also not so much known for. So it is still something to quite work on, like to just like the image of Munich, how it represents to the rest, and like, but there's also advantage of it as well, right? So like to keep things keep like, you know, it's a whole discussion around that, but yeah, I think, yeah, maybe I also already answered it. I think it's really about the question what you're looking for in the city.
Yeah, thanks for enclosing the Munich scene, and I think it's very beneficial. Let's talk about pick up where I left off
My-
the live set,
yeah,
which
this-
where you will be actually picking up where you stopped, and now today. So, what are we gonna hear? Like, what's it gonna be about?
This is actually my diploma work. I just recently graduated in Munich from the academy.
Congratulations!
Thanks. um, nothing so much to woo for as art school, but no. But anyways, but yeah, this is I produced a radio play basically. I did like a sound installation. People were able to lie down and like listen to like 4-channel sound piece. It's the first time I'm using my own voice, like very like in front of, like, I also produce music and sound and whatever, and this is the first time I really like put my own voice really to the front of the piece, and I produced also everything myself, and it's basically a quite a weird way to talk about angels, circles, and paradoxes and models, and really like a weird play about metaphysical concepts of belief and knowledge and reason. Yeah.
Would you say that your musical productions that you tend to release also under a moniker Shock, did it somehow influence like art forms like these that you will be presenting just now?
Yes, definitely. I think it took me so long to finally realize, hey, I don't have to do like my art practice, which is like a sculpture or whatever, and then I have my sound practice, which is music, which is like a different way of like mediating, and like, you know, it's way more direct. You don't have to like over conceptualize stuff. It's a way more emotional. And now I just like say, no, I think kind of both things can really go along very well. Yeah.
Thanks for coming to Brno, Maria Margolina,
Yeah.
right now on air.
Thanks. Okay. Auf jeweils je einer Schulter. Stille Beobachter. Santander. Seraphim. Säkular. Ecke, Angelus. Anima. Mein Arm ausgestreckt. Lehn dich hinein. Mein Amt, ein Zweck. Selbstlosigkeit. Zwischen Licht und Zeit vermitteln wir die Botschaft in verschlüsselter Form. Das Instrument, der Tiefentraum, geht 2 Schritte zurück, einen nach vorn. But unbearably tempting is desire, messengers wandering around. And as your words come out so sharp, poignant, mine diffuse into aching, incomprehensible sound. sensitive of moments when meaning is revealing, the secrets of invisible words disclosed. We remain silent after our deed is done. But look, come closer, here beneath me. Imagine there that things were speaking. Immer wieder aufs Neue zum Ausgangspunkt zurückversetzt. Reboot im System, Blue Screen of Death. It is located somewhere between my ears and eyes. They might process it differently, but are the same inside. It's not like it is told. Pattern cycle, iteration, monotype, Unicode, universal information. It is oneness, but maladjusted, processed and deducted. Feel the fading periphery and bring it back to integrity. Der Himmel schafft die Erde das Leben. Der Mensch trägt es in sich, das Bewusstsein, das Streben. Spiegelung des Mondes im See. Das Wasser klar und ruhig gehalten. Der Mittelpunkt des Universums umfasst die Wirklichkeit nicht. Wir müssen den Kreis zwischen Subjekt und Objekt durchlaufen und uns in keinem der beiden Halbkreise scheuen, die ihm eigentümliche und dem anderen Halbkreis scheinbar entgegengesetzte Bewegung bis zur Konsequenz zu verfolgen. Es sind nicht die voreiligen Kompromisse, sondern die Extreme, die sich fruchtbar berühren. Der Kreis umfasst umso mehr Land, je voller der Umschwung ist. Nur das Ausbrechen aus der Kreisbewegung selbst, das Vergessen der stets schon auf uns wartenden Bewegung des anderen Halbkreises, zerreißt das Zusammengehörige. Kosmos, das ist alles. Weitermachen, wo du aufgehört hast. A fine point, a fine point, a fine point, a supplement to this fine point, a fine point that goes back to the reality of light, a fine point, a fine point, a fine point. A reality, the reality of realities, an illusion, conclusion, some encouragement, a silent empty space, infinite in all directions, in the labyrinth of identities. Its unfolding is decay. ein Widerspruch des Ich-Modells, die Mediation der Intuition, konzipiert nicht als Entwurf, sondern als Intention. Träumen von Erweiterung, von unserer Existenz, unmittelbar die Seinserfahrung. Sein Verlust ist Essenz. Und betrügest du dich nur ums Licht, das aus dir selber scheint. Es wäre so vernichtend, nicht? Wärst du dein eigener Feind. Hier stünde ja auf tieferem Grund dir noch ein Sieg bevor. Du schlössest mit dir selbst den Bund, verschlössest selbst dein Tor. Wo Licht und Nacht in eins verlischt, im unentschiedenen Schein, mit allem Lebenden vermischt, sammelst du selbst dich ein. Gewähre, was du nie begehrt, verleugne, was du bist. Noch immer trätst du unversehrt aus wesentlichem Zwist. So vielfach könnte nie die Zeit zerspalten sein, das nicht. In höherer Besonnenheit ihr Strahl sich an dir bricht. Nur wo du dich behaupten willst, in sichtbarlicher Tat, nur wo du dein Verlangen stillst, begehst du den Verrat. Denn dunkler war noch keine Nacht als Zions Wirklichkeit. Das Sichtbare hat keine Macht in innerlicher Zeit. Denn sein geheimster Grund besteht im Zwielicht der Magie, die Lüge der Identität. Wer sonst vollbrachte die?